First time caller.
How's it going, Mike?
Yo, is this the Raven?
Yeah, you got him.
What's up, brother?
How's it going? Good.
You know how it is. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, I put that Skype on just for you, buddy.
I know you did, and that's why I'm calling you.
Actually, yeah, Brianna helped me put it on there.
Good. So tell us, what's on your mind, buddy? What's going on?
Well, everything. I study it all. Your friend that was talking about pensions, I study that. Housing market, everything. What do you want to talk about?
Well, tell me what's on your mind. What's keeping you up at night?
Up at night, I fear that I won't be able to unload the rest of my rental properties before the market tanks.
How many rental properties do you have?
That's what Well, I bought 5 duplexes in 07 and 08. I rode the bubble, and I've been unloading them for the last 2 years. I sold 3, and I got 2 left to sell.
Are you still in positive territory if those 2 don't sell?
Oh yeah, and I did well. I did.
Hello.
Hold
on, you're cutting out. It must be your
Winnipeg.
internet signal there.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. Hello? Oh, we lost him.
Are you there?
Oh, it says you have a poor network connection. Oh, okay, that's why I'm losing you.
Sorry, no.
I'm losing you. Yeah, let me call him back. I got a really poor network connection. Let me try to call the Raven back. See if he can get those properties unloaded. Maybe we can get
Sorry about that.
Yeah, don't be sorry. It's just it's the internet. You can't control it, right?
Yeah, no, I walked outside. I should have stayed in the house.
Oh, you got to stay in shelter, buddy, when you're on Skype.
Yeah, I walked outside on the deck.
Okay. So you got 2 properties left you want to unload, and you'll get it. You know what I'm saying? Even if you got to take a haircut of about 10-15% on some of them. What city is this in? Atlanta?
I'm in Winnipeg.
Oh, Winnipeg. Okay, yeah. Okay. I haven't been in Manitoba in about a year or 2. Yeah.
You know, another interesting thing is I drive trains for CN, and it's the blood of our economy. Watching those trains, and I can tell by just the parking lot at work how many empty parking lot spots there are, how the economy's doing, just by how many crews are running trains west and east of Winnipeg. It's a pretty strange, but it's an accurate thermometer of the economy.
Oh, brother, I'm going to tell you straight up, the way if you're gauging that is so more better than what these economists think they know.
Yeah. As for what was on my mind, I read a lot in the last couple of days, but those 4 kids who got cancer from that school with the cell phone tower, that's very disturbing. If you saw that on...
No, let me look it up. I got so much stuff come through me, man. 4 kids...
Zero Hedge.
Cell tower.
I think it was in California.
Yeah, here it is, March 13th. All right, let's open her up.
You know, a cell tower is every, 10 miles, and 5G when it comes out is every 1,000 feet. That 5G, they have a hidden agenda with that. I would almost guarantee you there's a hidden agenda with 5G.
Did you watch our show a month ago about it? I had Peter on from Australia who researched it.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, so go to my channel when you get some time. Type in 5G. You'll see the shows we have on it already. We've covered, but 5G is scary. Parents say that radiation from cell phone tower on a California elementary school campus has given 4 students cancer in the last 3 years. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's disturbing.
Very disturbing.
Imagine what 5G will do.
Can I ask a question? Did you vote to put that tower out there?
No, no.
So then why the hell are they doing it without getting our consent first? That's the main question.
You know, how about this? How about why did they put LED streetlights in every single city without even discussing it with us, knowing that LED screws with your circadian clock, which disrupts your melatonin, which stops your reproduction? Why did we not even have a discussion if that is harmful to us or not?
Even if it's 5%, even if it's 5% true, we should not do it, and we should have had a discussion. But that sounds like it's
Yeah.
70% true, which is very, very shame on you to the government and their stupid agenda.
You know what? They're losing control. That's why they're clipping you guys on. They're clipping people on Facebook, on YouTube. They're gonna. You know what? I believe that a lot of the channels won't be there in a year. They're just gonna. Freedom of speech is gone. Habeas corpus is gone. It's going to be out the window because they're losing control. How else are they going to control 7.5 billion people? I believe China, Russia, and the U.S. have always been in bed together. How are you going to control 7.5 billion? You got to do it through fear.
Mm-hmm.
And they're losing control. And people like you on your site trying to waken people up is not what they want.
Yeah, and I talk about housing mostly. You know, we talk about things in the news. We try to keep away from shootings and stuff like that other people are already doing because it's already being done. So I don't want to get myself into any hot water, right?
Yeah, that's another thing. You have strikes, that they can give you guys
for no reason. They stopped me from streaming on my main channel because I was talking about the Australian housing market.
Yeah. Which you're talking about cash earlier. I put cash into the system every day. I walk into Safeway, here's cash. I walk into a flea market today, here's cash. That's against their system. That guy that you had on from Barrie, Ontario.
Yep.
He's right. That guy's right. You put cash back in the system. You stop using those credit cards and those debit cards. Once they get us locked in, that's it. And then you're recorded digitally, you're recorded financially. You know what? They need a little piece of your DNA on 23andMe or whatever it is, and they can recreate you, everything you do.
Yep, they can.
I don't like it.
They can go
there's
off
no
the
more.
pattern.
There's no more freedom.
Well, they could predict too. They could even predict your patterns.
Minority Report, the movie.
Yeah.
Pre-crime. You were looking at this. We feel that in the near future you're going to commit this crime. They're not far off from that.
I know.
I like to have a little bit of a little bit of privacy. Why do they like? I'm not breaking any laws. But
what do they want to know what you're having for breakfast and what kind of underwear you buy?
Yeah.
And that's becoming a problem. And for me, I don't care. But you know what the sad part is about this dude? That if they need to exonerate you for something, let's say they needed phone records to show, they're recording your phone messages, right? Let's say you needed that in court to exonerate you to show from the cell towers or something you were nowhere near the scene. If they could exonerate you from that, they won't use that. But if they could convict you for it, they'll use it.
Yeah, convict. That college scam that just came out where the people were paying for their kids to get into. You want to know something?
Tell me.
Who cares? Yeah, who cares? Hillary Clinton and her campaign of her charity fraud is such a big crime that is just swept away over there in the corner. Nobody gives a shit about it.
Mm-hmm.
And yet they want to go after these people that paid to get their kid, which is a scumbag move to do because you're already rich and you're using But look at the Clintons. Look at what they did to Haiti. Look at the money that they sucked out of that.
In their defense, they spent $14,000 in Haiti. Okay.
I was over there. I was in Dominican. It's a great place. Don't go their side of the island.
No, I wasn't Dominican. I wasn't actually Santo Domingo. I was in Dominican Republic for 6 months, and I drove around the island to Puerto Plata, Mama Juana, all those places. But then I drove across to Haiti, just across the border, and I turned the car right around because I don't speak French, right? And they don't speak French. They speak like a patois. I turned my car around and it went right back to Dominican Republic. The guy's like the guy goes to me and says, "Yeah, regresaste," and I'm like, "Yeah, I came back. I'm not going there." And he started laughing. He's like, "Go, go, go! I saw you come in."
Yeah. There's there's too many topics to cover. Pick a topic.
Well, we're talking about defaults tonight. Do you see any of your friends, anybody you know, defaulting on things? Auto defaults, anybody defaulting that you're seeing a pattern? You already told us about that parking lot thing, which is really good. That shows how many people are working.
I'll tell you, we are running at peak. Like we are the trains running across this country are massive amounts. It's running at full bore. In 2009, we had layoffs that went right across Canada for CN. That was because of the '08 collapse, the housing collapse. Okay, we had layoffs. They reverberated through our economy a year later. That took out of Winnipeg, that took out 250 transportation employees for 6 months. In 2015, because of the Chinese stock market collapsing 45%, that took out 200 transportation employees for 6 months in 2015. I told people at work, I predict a 5-year deep layoff coming this year, later in the year, and we're going to lose half our traffic. The oil out of Alberta is helping us a lot right now. We're running a lot of oil trains. But the intermodal traffic, the double stack, the sea cans that we bring from China, it's train after train after train, and they're 10,000 feet long and they're double stacked. And China's not going to give us free shit for the rest of our lives. That's all going to come to an end. Our trade deficit is around $600 billion a year, and they're not going to keep doing that. And I believe that you already know, I believe their country is in a lot more trouble than they say it is.
Well, because we don't know anything about their country, right? And
it's all lies.
We'll never know because it's a communist fascist dictatorship. They won't tell us what's going on in those countries, but what we could forecast from those countries, it's not good at all. So let's look at some articles. Layoff warnings jump 30%. More Californian workers targeted. Layoffs starting at autism clinics in Ontario as new autism funding gets cut. Waterloo lab affected by global layoffs. OC Transport takes back some layoff notices. Volkswagen announces thousands of layoffs. Layoff notices go in the hundreds of Oakland school workers. MPP and Fee says kids' ability layoffs. And Fifth Third announces 30 area layoffs. Fifth Third Bank. All right, continue.
It's everywhere. You know what? Store food, get silver, hold hard assets.
Okay.
People tell you you're crazy. They'll say you're crazy. Oh yeah, they've been saying this for 30 years. They've been saying this for 30 years. So I went and bought the economy books from the 80s, and I read the books in the 80s, The Coming Currency Collapse. That economist he had it right, but he thought 1985 we're going to be hyperinflating our currency. We can't go 140 billion in debt in the U.S. next year, he said in 1982. We can't do it. That's too much. He was right about everything he said, off on the timing, and he didn't see the evil tools that they could throw at it, like negative rates and everything, right?
Did you see?
Yes.
Did you see my videos from Australia? The playback of the videos I showed.
Yes.
Did you see how I was forecasting, but I was like 3 years off on everything?
Yeah, you know what? Inevitability is certain, yet not always punctual. Well, this is coming. I don't care what anyone says. It's a no-brainer.
But you said it yourself. They kept throwing those tools at it.
Yeah,
First-time home buyer loans, historically low interest rates, interest-only mortgages.
What are they going to throw at it? What are they going to throw at it next? And how will that affect us?
They can't get no more foreign investors in.
They're going to start going after our primary residences. I believe 5% at first, then 10%. They're bankrupt. The United States, Europe, China, Japan, they are bankrupt. They're insolvent. They have more liabilities than assets. They are finished. They know it, and they know that people are starting to figure it out on the internet. That's why they're clipping your channels. Public perception can drive a world crazy. They have to cap this off.
But did you see the video I did earlier? I think you commented on it. $240 trillion in debt. The world is $240 trillion US dollars in debt. And the video said, who do we owe the money to? The Decepticons? Do you remember that video I did today?
I saw a little bit of it.
Okay. But we're $240 trillion in debt. And a lot of it in the derivative markets is crazy. So right now, what we're looking at is we can't pay this back no matter what.
That's a guarantee. If people can't see that, then I don't know what they're smoking. That's obvious to me. I look at the numbers. I watched the professor of Boston University, professor of economics. His team ripped apart the American debt. 222 trillion, just American debt. counting unfunded obligations of pensions, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, unfunded payments that they have to make. They put them at 222 trillion, just United States. Who do they default on if they default? People think, oh, they default on China. They say 1.2. They default on their own people. 5 trillion Medicare, 5 trillion Medicaid, Social Security. You want to see social unrest? Get used to that word, social unrest. You know how you've heard terrorism, how they created that in 2001.
Terrorism is the new boogeyman, because before that it was the war on drugs, and then it was the war on the Cold War, and before that was World War II, you know?
Yeah. So the new word will be social unrest. You're going to see that. It's going to be rampant. You're seeing it already in France. You're seeing it.
Oh, did you see the article I brought up about France is going this really violent attacks against the police, and a lot of police now are joining the sides of the Yellow Vests?
Yeah. And why, again, are they not publicizing that? Why are they not putting it on the media?
It's on Zero
Why don't
Hedge.
Why don't I get to see what's happening in Fukushima? Why is Fukushima poisoning the world? Isn't that the biggest story in the planet right now? Why is it a media blackout? Public perception. This world will go nuts if too much gets out. And again, that's why they're clipping your channels.
But you know what the funny thing is? It's because there's nothing to be made off that.
I don't think you know what? I don't know what they're thinking of now.
Because when you see the news and they keep propping up the housing market, it's because they have something to gain off it.
Well, like you said, they blow up those fake asset bubbles, eh? Mm-hmm. Low interest rates create massive credit bubbles. We've got a massive credit bubble. We got a government debt bubble, auto loan bubble, student loan bubble. We got a real estate bubble. We got corporate debt bubble of $9 trillion in the U.S. How the hell are they going to pay that $9 trillion of corporate debt? I went to the mall tonight, St. Vital Center here in Winnipeg. They got 12 closed stores in there. Me and my brother went into Payless shoe stores. They're closing 2,100 stores. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was a madhouse in there. And I don't see signs that are saying coming soon, a new store. There's nothing coming soon.
Oh, no. You know what? They put these beautiful billboards in front of the windows and put some paintings of clowns and children shopping with their moms. And you just walk by it like there's nothing there.
Yeah.
You like how they covered up the Targets. You know the Targets? You go into some malls, there's still empty Targets. So you walk in, you don't even notice there was a Target there because they boarded up so nicely. And they make it look like it's not part of the mall.
I noticed that about Sears today. I went by the Sears store. They had a big sign all the way across. It looked like part of the wall, where the doors used to be.
Yeah.
I noticed that today. Yeah, you're right.
They do a good job at that, eh? Faking shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where do you see things headed in the summer? Summer's coming. It's supposed to be big sales in spring, and a lot of loser agents, real estate agents are forecasting a huge spring pickup. We didn't have a huge spring pickup in Australia because they went through their spring and they're at the end of their summer right now, and then nothing happened there at all. And they were predicting 10% increases, and there were people that lost were going to be in the green again. Nothing happened. What do you see happening now in this spring? You're going to see big spring sales. Consumer confidence going to come back, Raven?
I see a slow burn down, and then once some stuff starts to let go, they're going to come in with QE4. Actually, QE5. It's QE5, not 4. They did QE1, 2, Operation Twist. I don't know why they changed the name. Well, QE3. So that's 4 rounds right there. So you know what? That's 4 of what they told us. They never stopped QE. They're pumping 50 to 100 billion out the back door a month. The U.S. That's bullshit that they can run without QE. It's a continuous program. Mm-hmm. They wrote a paper in the 50s about quantitative easing, about printing money. The guy actually won a Nobel Peace Prize for that paper. When you start printing money, print as much as you can, run your economy as hard as you can, get your infrastructure built, get your bridges, your roads, and then collapse the monetary system. It's the only way out. Yep. There's no way. Printing money is the same as jumping off a 100-story burning building. Sure, you're fine at the start, but you know where you're going to end up.
Yeah.
There's no way out. Because the debts of an economy grow quicker than the economy. The debts grow quicker. So
did you see that thing with the snake eating its own tail in that circle?
That's what I always say to people. It's a snake eating its own tail. Yeah, but I never saw that. No.
Well, it's a book that was written in the snake eating its tail. So we got our man Raven, who's always in the comments section here from Winnipeg. So do you see, Winnipeg, when I went through Winnipeg, I just found it, some parts, I went through those underground tunnels where the subway or underground tunnels there underneath those main streets and by the stadium there, I think.
It's downtown.
Yeah, I've been down there quite a bit actually, and I just find it scary at times, like kind of like unsafe. Is that just me or what is it?
You know what? There was a guy shot last week down there. That was our 8th homicide of the year. They say we're on par for 42 this year. That's another thing I was going to say. You talked about shopping carts getting pushed by. You can hear people with shopping carts. In Winnipeg, in the last 2 years, I never met anybody who had been using meth. Our city it's an epidemic. They're walking up my back lanes. They're looking in my garbage can. There's violent crimes now, and it's all part of the disintegration process. I believe that's happening. Weighs more on the budgets of the cities, and it just drags down. There's just so much dragging. I'm very gloomy. Doom and gloom. It's a lot of doom and gloom.
But you're seeing it with your own eyes. You're not making it up.
Yeah. No, it's the theft. Like I talk to people here, and they tell me like they work at Shoppers, and every 7th person that walks in is stealing stuff. They're grabbing stuff. They're bringing in knapsacks. They're just because they got to get their meth, And now it's fentanyl. I hear people talking about fentanyl. It's horrific in this city. It's everybody, all these squeegee people on every corner of every street, and I talk to them, and they're all on meth. They say everyone down here is on meth. They're all on meth. I actually bought a place out of the city, so in the spring I'm actually moving out of Winnipeg. I don't think cities are going to be a good place to live in the next 5 years.
So you're like me. I left Vancouver and moved to a small town, and I'm happy as hell.
Yeah. Well, God's country, eh?
Yeah, oh yeah. Mountains, fresh water.
We can't afford to live up there.
20 degrees next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice weather. Yeah, oh yeah. We have 4 seasons here. You guys have 2. You guys have winter and humidity and
mosquitoes.
Then winter.
Huh? Winter and mosquitoes.
Yeah. Yeah, here we have a spring.
But then,
I'm going to be planting my flowers next week, first week of spring. I'm going to be doing stuff here. It's going to be like 19 on Monday to Tuesday. It's going to be beautiful. So
yeah,
that's why I got out of. I used to live in Ontario when I was a kid, and I got out of there when I finished high school a couple of years after. Man, I lived in Mexico for 2 years. I couldn't stand this whole not getting anywhere in life and seeing it and not doing nothing about it and can't really do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But. Yeah. Anyways, well, I really appreciate you calling in and giving us your insights. We'll have you on very soon. If you want to be on the housing show on Wednesday, let me know. We'll have you on and we could talk about properties in the area. Are they dropping? What's happening in Winnipeg area? What have you heard? Are there? I want to ask you: are you guys getting affected? Are you because you're in Winnipeg? Are you guys getting affected in there from the migrants coming from America? Because a lot of people with the open borders. Are you seeing any of that or?
You know what? Our closest border is Emerson, and there was a story about a guy who walked across and got frostbite and lost his fingers due to frostbite. There was a couple little rogue stories like that, but people don't normally make their destination Winnipeg. I don't know why we end up here, but it's like you hear a little bit about Syrians and helping out Syrians and getting housing for. I don't think there's a lot of it here. Not like you guys or Ontario. Mm-hmm. No, not as much.
Okay.
And you know what? As far as our housing market goes, we're more of like a steady keel. We don't get the big, huge price swings that other people get. When you guys got that 15% land transfer tax put on you in BC, I said right away. I said Toronto's next, and. Then a couple months later, it hit Toronto. That was a no-brainer, though. Anybody could have guessed that. And then I figured the overflow would come through the prairie provinces and hold our prices up for a year or two at maybe 2-3% up a little bit just from the overflow, because a lot of people don't want to pay an extra $150,000 on $1 million property, in tax.
But the problem is that what we're buying. Yeah. Who's going to want to pay the land? That's what's been propping our economies for the long time, and that's what's been funding our deficits for our cities. Now, I'm going to tell you this, and I've said this before. You're going to start seeing a city tax come into play. So, if you're living, for example, in Winnipeg proper, in downtown Winnipeg, you're going to have your federal tax, you're going to have your provincial tax for the province, and then you're going to have the Winnipeg city tax, like 2 or 3% goods and services.
Yeah.
They're going to add that on.
Tax. Yeah. We're some of the heaviest tax people in the country.
Yeah. Oh, we're one of the highest tax countries on the planet.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's going to get worse. They're bankrupt. What are they going to do?
Well, how are these cities going to keep up those deficits? How are they going to pay their buses? Are they going to privatize it to other companies?
It's going down. The shit's going down.
But they're not talking about garbage pickup once a month.
Yeah, I'm looking at the big picture of China. That's the one I watch, and I think that is going to wipe us all out. That's the one that's going to take us out. We're not going to be. It's just too big, and I think they're full of shit with what's going on over there. They have too much dark money, shadow banking, all kinds of hidden
laundering.
Cash. I think what a $90 trillion credit market. And they lie about everything. I think that China. Look at the housing there. That the developers are slashing 10%, and then the people are going and throwing bricks through their windows of the developer's office.
Yep, I covered that story. Remember?
Yeah, I did. I read 64 million vacant condos. And nobody lives in them. Look at those ghost cities.
I don't think I spoke to my friend Evan in Hong Kong, and he told me you can't even live in them. You can't. They're not livable. They were just built for investment purposes.
That's just bizarre. Like they quadrupled their debt since 2008. People say China's going to take over. I think China's going down the toilet too.
Yeah, China, right? But China's smart. Can I tell you what they're doing that's right? They're selling off U.S. treasuries and they're buying gold with it.
Yeah, but that's only a little bit of money. That's in the big picture for them. I think that's like, what else are you going to buy? These guys they're dealing with hundreds of billions of dollars. What can you buy? Mm-hmm. They own chunks of our country, of the U.S. They're all over the place. They're flooding Africa. Mm-hmm. They're looking for resources. But I just think they're too deep. They got no money. They're too deep. And you know what they worry about? Their own country overtaking the Communist Party. They got, 1.38 billion people? Yep. 66% of their stock market, people who invest don't even have grade 12. I was reading a lot in 215 about China when their stock market started to collapse. Mm-hmm. You know, they start pulling billionaires into the back room and beating the shit out of them. That's the kind of country that is.
Yep.
But I've heard anywhere from their GDP, 900%. Debt to GDP, it's probably around 300.
So I've heard multiply everything by 3, what you're telling me, and that's what it is, because we don't know, and we only get a little bit of the little sniff of what we know. Because remember, they don't share anything with us.
Yeah, but see, I used to know an economist who worked at the Bank of Canada, and he worked in the Hong Kong division. And you know what? Those guys don't know. He reads his dot graphs, his dot plots, the Phillips curve. He follows his own thing. His mind doesn't go beyond, like, they call us conspiracy theorists, right? We're not. We're critical thinkers. We peel back the layer of the onion. We want to get to the root, like the truth of it, right? The CIA brought up the conspiracy theorists in the 60s when people started asking questions about who killed John F. Kennedy.
Right. They were labeled as conspiracy theorists on the spot, but no one knew what that word meant, because now we know what the word means. Because now when you go against the status quo, you're a conspiracy theorist, period. Now you're a racist. Screw conspiracy theorists. You're a racist now.
Yeah, but what did the meaning term conspiracy theorist? It just makes you feel like crap just to hear it, right? Mm-hmm. It's not. You're a critical thinker. And that's all the people who watch your channel, the majority of them are probably critical thinkers, and they're very rare. Those people are very, very rare. For every 1,500 or 2,500 sheep that you got out there chewing grass in the field, you got maybe one critical thinker. Those are the people that are going to keep eye and watch on what's going on and figure that shit out for the people who can't muster up enough brain cells to figure it out, you know?
Yep. There's always got to be someone to lead, right? And, well, it's not that I think we just want the best for everybody. That's all we want. We're not asking, to change water into wine. We're they're making us seem like they're connecting the wrong dots and making us seem like we're out there to try to take over or overthrow a government. We're not.
That's probably coming.
We need governing in our lives for my bus. Oh, I don't have a bus, but the bus, our subway. I don't want a private sector company to run I want our government to run certain facilities and public libraries. I don't want no private sector company to pick up our garbage. I pay my taxes. I want the government to come and bring its cronies to pick up my garbage. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
But I don't want the government to tell me what kind of music to listen to. I don't want the government to tell me what I can and can't say. I don't want the government to tell me how to dress.
That's coming. Yeah, freedom of speech. Not anymore.
Well, once you lose the freedom of speech, you lose religion, right?
Well, one of the first clues to we were losing freedom of speech here in Canada is when they made those anti-Islamic laws. Those where like people who I believe it's true. Like it should be, but where if you say something bad, then it's like a hate speech. It's like it clipped certain opinions that people had. It was a anti-Islamic. You can't say anything bad about the Quran, or there's certain things that I don't know the exact rule of the law of it, but I remember that when they came out with that law, anti-Islamophobia or whatever they called it.
Oh, they make up words every week. You know what I'm saying? They make up our vocabulary has extended. Like we have Al Qaeda, we have ISIS, ISIL, we have Taliban, we have all ISIS this stuff for the week.
Yeah, ISIS is Langley, CIA Langley directed, Langley funded, and Langley operated ISIS. That's American ISIS. John McCain.
Yep.
Yeah. They fund the rebels. They do all that.
Well, they always did.
And
they funded the Afghani freedom fighters in 1981 against the Russian invaders.
Yeah, and if we were in charge, we would have done the same thing.
Well, James Bond was there. Remember in that movie? From Russia with
which one?
I can't remember which one it was, but he was in Afghanistan in that one episode, and they're like, oh, these guys are backed by these are Afghani freedom fighters. They're fighting off the Russians, and that was in the whole James Bond movie. I can't remember which one it was. If you guys don't, put it in the comment section which one I'm talking about, so I don't sound delusional. Yeah.
I work with people from Iraq, Afghanistan, India, Pakistan. They're all good people. They just want to work and live a job.
My ex-wife was from Afghanistan. She was born and raised in Kabul, but they were westernized, right?
Yeah.
The video I put up, Afghanistan 1972 to 74.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
I couldn't believe it.
My ex-wife was part of that, and her father was part of that, right? So they were part of that, and they wanted to continue that lifestyle, so that's why they came to Canada.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Hopefully continue.
Okay, Mr.
I bought a lake house. I was going to tell you, I bought a lake house 80 miles away from the city.
Dude, can you report for the Mike Martin's channel once in a while and then send me the video and I'll upload it saying, you'll say, hey guys, Raven here for the Mike. You don't have to show yourself. You can just show what you're doing.
Do I get a $50 gift certificate?
And then you go, hey guys, Raven here. I'm over here at the lake house I just picked up. I'm just going to show you guys the view here. Blah, 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 and I got out of the city, blah, blah, blah. Or you could do a drive-by on some streets and show us how many houses are for sale, stuff like that.
Yeah, you know what? I actually said that just down the street here. I see price reduced on a couple of the houses. It says price reduced. I always watch for those signs.
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to say, hey guys, Raven here for the Mike Martin's channel, reporting in Winnipeg. Just outside here, a couple of price reduced here. Just want to show you guys what's going on in the Manitoba area. Man, I would love you. Man, we're best friends forever, man.
Okay. We'll do something for you.
Well, I'm going to kick you off, and I'm
Okay.
going to try and see if I
Yeah.
can get someone else on before I hit the hay.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Sorry for ranting there so
No,
much.
don't. That's part of Mike in the Night. It's all about what's going on and what's on your mind and what's keeping you up at night.